Grande Filippo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last meeting of the week. Very happy the weekend is almost here. My name is Fernando Mendez, and to my left I have Filippo Sebastio, the soul and engine of this podcast. Before getting on to anything else, I have to remind people, because I forget about my sponsor all the time. If you are about to throw a party, if you have a dinner coming up, or if you just want to bulk up for the upcoming festivities, there is always a festivity around the corner. Please go to winenot.com.hk. They are the best and friendliest wine and spirit supplier in Hong Kong, and they also happen to be a friend of ours, and they are so nice. They gave us a code for people to actually save 5% on checkout. So if you go to winenot.com.hk and you use the code LASTMEET, that's LASTMEET, at checkout you get 5% discount, and they already have amazing prices. So go visit them. Now, people often ask me why I do this podcast. And the truth is that there is not just one reply. But one of the main reasons is because of a big change in my life. I stopped doing something that I was extremely passionate about, in a way, which was just meeting random people and kind of like receiving by osmosis all of the good energy and knowledge that people had in the city. And Hong Kong is very rich on that. But then when you become a father and the borders start to open, you find that 3 a.m. is not an hour that you're normally awake anymore. So when I get the chance to meet new people because of these podcasts, everything kind of makes sense. And the guest of today, Roman, welcome to the last meeting of the week, came about in a very, can I say, weird way. I found you on Instagram. I was probably in an airport or waiting to board a plane, and I was just going into a rabbit hole, who took this picture, this guy, and I discovered your pictures and I love them, and that was that.
Thank you.
And you do a lot of, if you were not a lot in auto portraits, I would have never recognized you. But then I saw you in Soho House at the Barbie party.
Yeah.
And that was, we had all of the equipment, by the way. Like it was about to happen, but it was not set up. And I said, I was a little bit drunk, I have to confess. And I said, Roman, please come to my podcast. And I gave you my business card. Yeah. And then you wrote me after a few days, and I was extremely happy. So now we're here.
I think it was more than a few days, actually. I had it for a while. I was like, it's been a while. Should I write? And then I was like, yeah, let me just write you an email.
You made my day. You made my day. So welcome. How was your week?
It's been good. It's been productive in many ways. I feel like I've tried to finish certain things, and then suddenly something else popped up. And overall, it's been like fruitful, let's say, eventful, like on things in a good way.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
I believe that you should have 1 million followers on Instagram. Why don't you have them?
That's a good question. I have no idea how to answer. Maybe actually I do. I think you need to learn how to work with social media, how to work with algorithms, and be consistent. And I'm learning how to be consistent. I'm trying to be more.
You are very prolific, but before getting to what you do, what do you think the world considers as successful nowadays in social media?
I think the first thing that comes up to my mind is probably people who have like a lot of followers and like a huge, let's say, engagement on social media. It's always like considered successful, but I do think that this is not the right way to measure it. There are a lot of artists, a lot of photographers, videographers, musicians that don't have a huge following on social media, but they are successful in a way. I mean, what is success, right? Like, is it about numbers? Is it about like how much money you make? Is it I think people measure it in a different way, but nowadays people measure it more in numbers, I think. So I guess social media would be like, hey, he has a lot of followers, so he's successful,
Yes, last episode we were talking with Shivang, and we discussed the difference in long term against short term when it comes to promotion strategies. And nowadays we live in the world of peak promotion, maximizing the attention. Artists that live for a very short time, but they grow very rapidly and they decay without us knowing very rapidly as well. What's your take on that? Like, do you how do you stay motivated when you see other people having such growth with probably material that is not even of high quality?
Oh, that's such a struggle for many, and for me as well. I'm actually learning how to try to like detach myself from this thought. Like when I see that someone is doing better, when like I'm subjectively, let's say, right, say, oh, this guy's or this girl's work like is okay, but it's not worth that many followers, let's say, right? And you're like, well, why my work doesn't get that much attention, right? It's like then your ego strikes in, and like it's very toxic to think that way. But I'm just trying to like kind of detach from that and be satisfied with what I do. So if I did work and I'm happy with it, like for me it's more important than like, oh, someone got more followers. I know it will come, okay? I just need to be more consistent. And in the world of social media now, I just learning how to, like you said, gets people attention. Like this is what this is about. Like making videos that like hooking people and making them watch the whole thing, right? And it's like, oh, an algorithm picks it up and then it spreads to other people. So this is like some new thing that a creator have to learn how to hook people and make them stay longer on your page and on your content. So that's, yeah.
Do you find a correlation between what is good for you and successful in terms of number related to your work?
Can you repeat the question? I need to process it.
Do you think that what you like,
Yeah.
in terms of what you produce, is also what gets most of traction on social media or with clients or with
I think it depends. Like, I don't want to do the work just for getting people's attention. Like, I want to do work that I feel like doing, something that speaks to me most, right? But it's about how you serve it to people. That's what I think. Like, it's about like the way you give the information to people, right? I think now photography is really hard on Instagram, for example, to let's say to spread, like to keep high engagement, but it's much easier on videos, right?
Yes.
And for example, I made the last video on like how to make a expensive kind of like lighting technique with like really cheap equipment. But I watched it as well, and I was like, I felt it myself that the way I delivered information was not great. It's a good content, but it was not well delivered. So now Instagram has this new function. It shows like on the average how long people watched your video, and the video is like 56 seconds, and on the average it was like 18 around. So I was like, okay, so people don't really finish it because I got boring. Like I think the way I was talking was not engaging for people.
I want to push back. I disagree with you. I don't think you got boring. I saw the video as well, and I thought it was nice for different reasons that I actually want to touch later. But I think the problem is not on you. The problem is on the audience. People just don't have attention span, and I think that responds to a certain mental health state. So I worry a little bit when the reply from the audience, which is in the middle of a transformation social process, adopting new technologies, when that reply influences the artist. And I think that my compliment to you is that you are extremely prolific, but you do it with a style that is nice, that is very personal to you. How exhausting is creating so much all the time?
It is very exhausting, to be honest, especially when I work now as a teacher during the daytime. Now my schedule is so good. I cannot complain. I'm very happy. It's from 10 to 4. So I have time in the morning to do stuff and after work as well, right? But still, even that gets your energy. And like, in staying consistent, like you said, on social media, when you don't get that gratification after you did something and you put your soul into it, right? You make it really, you thought you really made it a nice thing. And then, well, but it didn't get people's attention. And you're like, well, fuck, you know? What should I, sorry, can I say bad words here?
You can say as many as you want. I love bad words. Eh?
Talking about bad word, I thought the camera for a minute it got a little bit blurry.
His camera.
His camera.
Oh, maybe
Yes.
I'm.
No. It's we'll check it out later. Yeah. It's okay. Don't ma-
So please
So,
swear.
so where I was, and oh yeah, so like when you're doing something, and especially it's hard in this way to stay consistent, because when you don't get really response that you would expect to get, let's say, then you know, like, it's demotivating you to do it, right? Because of course you want people to see it, right? Of course you want people to see your work, to relate to what you do, and then when it's not happening because you didn't play the game correctly, then of course it can, like I said, demotivate you. But for some reason, recently I've been in a very good mental state, and I don't feel like it's demotivating me right now.
So what did you do that changed? How do you fight that demotivation?
It's so people that inspire me. I want to talk about my friend Leo, who is a wonderful human being, and he just simply started doing this like mini challenge of going to the seaside in the morning. So like every morning at 7 a.m. he was filming himself, just putting his phone and like swimming and meditating, and you can see this view, right? The sea view where he does that. And I thought it's just so simple, but yet like, so beautiful to do that. And I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing. And today was day 12, I think, and it's been so lovely to just allow yourself to do that. But also because of my schedule, like I said, I can do these things, right? And it's just putting something new into my life makes me be like, oh, okay, it's fun to do new things, actually, even they're like a bit challenging, right? And yeah, it inspires me to do more things, I think. I don't know, I've just been like taking care of my mental well-being, and it's been nice.
How cold is the water in Lama now? I've seen your
It's-
videos. You get hooked to the videos, no? Like day 10, day 11, day 12. Plus, I was the one who replied that today you were going to do a podcast. I have privileged information.
Yes. How do you know? Water is perfect. In the morning, it's amazing. But yesterday and today, you can feel the wind is a little cooler. And when you go out of the water, of course, you can feel this chill wave. But it feels refreshing. It's nice.
To which beach are you going? I used to live in Lama, by the way. That's why.
Oh, Tannery Beach.
Okay, Tannery Beach. I thought I knew it. Yes. All right. Cool. Let me take one step back. There is a lot of information online, and that's wonderful for private investigators like Filippo and I when we research a podcast. But it all goes. You have a lot of documentation for your Hong Kong life, but then we saw that you were in Beijing before.
Yeah.
Why did you move to Beijing? Why Beijing?
Well, so the story started back home in Ukraine when my friend was like, I want to move to Beijing. And so her friend who already was living there said that there's an opportunity for people. If you have like a intermediate level of English, there is an opportunity for you to work as an English teacher in Beijing. And she said, I want to try, and how about you? Like, I know you like your English is like, all right, maybe we could try. And first I was just going to support her to go with her to Kiev because she was applying for visa. And then my brother was like, do the same thing. Just like, apply for visa as well. Why not? And I was like, yeah, why not? And I always wanted to move out of Ukraine and just like explore the world, right? And I did it. And then she left first. And then I came to Beijing after her. And it was the best decision ever. It was something so new, completely new, just a different world. Imagine like contrast between Ukraine and Beijing, right? And China, I mean. And I was so excited because like I didn't know much, of course, like I know general stuff about the country, but it was so interesting to just like go into unknown, and yeah, it's been a lovely experience.
That was 2015.
Yeah, from 2015 to 2017.
How was China at that time?
It was one of the best times I've ever had in my life. At that time,
It was still shiny, fun China.
it was fun China. Yeah.
Because I left China in 2013. I was
Mhm.
there for 1 year, and at 2013 it was fantastic. And then I came back much later, and the vibe had changed already quite a bit. I think I came back on the 2018, something like that.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. So friends of mine that stayed there were reporting how, like things were changing. The government was taking more control of some certain things. They were changing too much, not in the positive way. And then obviously now COVID striked, and just like it's just not the same as it was before. Many
No.
people left. It's like more restricted, harder to get in. Like, yeah, it's
Well,
not fun.
That was true, but actually I just found out that it's totally changing. Because of the economical situation, China is actually inviting people again back in. Just to give you some context, I had to do several visas to go into China this year. The first one, they give you for one entry, single entry. Then you need to go back, they give you double entry and so on and so forth until you get the multiple entry for 5, 10 years, whatever. Now they're giving people without prior experience, prior visa, 5 years multiple entry.
Oh,
That's which
okay.
is
Because I was
insane.
thinking recently to open visa. Like, I want to like go travel a bit.
Yeah, no. I don't know the tourist one, but business visa, and before, if you don't have a document in the visa center, you need to you go
Yeah.
back and take the original. Here now, they help you. No, they're super nice. Sometimes
Mhm.
crises bring out the best in people. Why we couldn't find pictures from the China time? Or maybe
my-
it
on my
was bad
page.
research, but we didn't find a lot of pictures from your China years.
I need to check also because like I archived a lot of photos. So like just because I thought like maybe they are like not the ones I want to keep. I kept some of them, but I know that a lot of them I just removed.
Okay, fair enough. On that note, because I was actually kind of like wanting to create a segue into my next question. When do you start bringing photography as an elemental part of your life?
So I think when I moved to China, just before that I started Instagram.
Okay.
And it was like everyone were on it already, and I was very slow on it, and it was just like a fun way, right, to capture things. And then I thought, like, I mean, I've always been good at noticing beautiful things around, but I didn't know how to capture it. And then I noticed that actually it's kind of working out, like when I see different angles and frames, right? And it became more fun for me to do that. And then in Beijing, I already actually started to explore a little more. And I think when I moved to Hong Kong, I decided to kind of, take another step and learn editing software. So like Lightroom, Photoshop. And before that, I was never using it. I was more like uploading to Instagram or just on the phone, like doing tweaks here and there. And that was enough for me. But then when I started exploring, there's another way to actually improve your pictures. And I was like, whoa, you can change colors, you can do this and that, right? And it became more fun. And I think, starting from Hong Kong, I started to kind of like really dive into street photography, especially because like Hong Kong is just the best place for street photography. And and it became,
And it became a part of your routine.
yeah. I was like, oh my God, I was just obsessed with like making beautiful images. It doesn't matter what it's about. It can be a person, can be my friend, can be like someone on the street, or just like a picture of a building. But like if it's beautiful, I just really want to capture it and post it.
No, it's fantastic. Plus, you went to live in Jordan, and Jordan, I hated. I was about to do anyway. I'm gonna cut this part. But you live in Jordan. I was about to say something bad about a person, so I'm gonna edit it out. So you lived in Jordan,
Yeah.
which is one of the most frantic places in Hong Kong. Also, one of the, I think Kowloon side has more, is more fascinating than Hong Kong Island for whatever reason. You don't have the dramatism of the peak, of the Victoria Peak, but at the same time, I don't know, you go there and the streets are something too authentic. that authenticity in your case, I think, had happened at the same time of the protests, then
Yeah.
of COVID. It was a very conflictual reality. Plus, there is the international situation. You come from Ukraine, so you how does that translate into your pictures? How does that moment? How do you feel it's represented by the pictures you take?
I'm trying to kind of go back and think of what photos I took at that time. I think it was a mixed kind of stuff that I was taking pictures of. Overall, if we talk about like mental state, Jordan at the beginning was fine, but then like, with COVID and then like everything, I was there for 3 years, and yeah, it was like the really dark times, I would say. I didn't like the space anymore. It was just like, and a lot of things to worry about, and like protests, COVID, war, like, everything happened when I was there. But if I think about photos, I would reflected. Maybe some of the stuff became more like darker in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm gonna take the liberty. I'm gonna fast forward 1 second because I think they are darker, but you have a special talent, a special narrative talent, in my opinion. And you took a picture that I think this is in Prince Edward or something close.
oh yeah, it is Prince Edward. Yes.
That I think reflects what Hong Kong was at the time. So this is actually, it has a dark meaning, but it's very colorful. There were amazing COVID winter mornings where streets were almost empty, people looked depressed, and you tell a lot of things in this picture without, let's say, having them to be very dark.
It is true that in your process, you start with a lot of landscape, where you capture a lot of the Hong Kong solitude and quietness, which almost a way for you to seek that quietness, the tranquility that Hong Kong can only give at night.
Yeah.
That kind of reflect the moment that you were living at the start, probably the confusion, the challenge. Is that the case? Is that how mental health? Is that how the need, the seek for tranquility translated into your picture?
I never thought about it, to be honest. I was just doing it intuitively, I think. I don't think like, oh, maybe that's the reason I do it. I always just like follow my feelings. So I guess if you read it from the picture, maybe that's how I felt. For some reason, nighttime is more like it's, speaking to me more. And I love exploring Hong Kong and just going to like unknown directions and just like trying to find something interesting. And I was doing it a lot more before. And maybe some of the work you could see like, reflected when I was like trying to find this kind of really comfortable and cozy places, which in Hong Kong is kind of hard to find, right? Especially during the day. Like it's a really busy city. But at night it's just like, it's nice.
Yes. No, please follow up.
And then you move to Lama, which it's quite a transformation in the way you experience Hong Kong.
Yeah. It was the best decision ever, honestly. It was just such a relief being in nature. It's quiet. It was just completely, especially at that time, this is when it was at the beginning. So February, Russia attacked Ukraine, right?
Yes.
And then I moved to Lama around April. I think it was around April. And I was not feeling well overall. And that place just made me feel like, like home. It felt really good to be on Lama.
You also engage into more creative activities, in my opinion, because looking at the chronology of your pictures, as you said, you came here, you did a lot of urban pictures, then you move and you start doing a lot of portraits of people, and then lately the ones that you are proud of, because the ones that you are showing out are more than ever artistic. Has Lama sparked that flame, that creative flame in you, that maybe that solitude, that silence has allowed for what you have inside to come out?
I think definitely it contributed to to make me feel more inspired, right? Because if you are not in a good place, right, mentally, then I don't think that you feel like inspiration to do things. Even that can be an inspiration in a way. I think I do also have work. Sorry, I think I stepped
No,
on
no,
something.
it's okay. It's okay.
I do also have work that I do because I feel not good at that moment, and I want to translate that into the picture, and it makes me feel better to kind of like during the process try to understand it and just like trying to kind of leave it behind or learning to live with it, right? That also it's just another way of how photography can help. But yeah, definitely Lama, of course, it had a inspirational contribution.
No, that's amazing. I moved to Lama as well, and it literally pulled me out of a dark place. I had started a company. It was COVID. I was losing money, and then in Lama, I kind of gained a lot of perspective. I want to show you. You sent me some pictures, and you were so kind in sending them. But apart from the ones that you show me, before we get to them, I want to show you the ones that I like the most.
Okay.
Please don't judge me.
I'm very happy you like them.
I fell in love with this picture. You will find that I love geometry and urban architecture. I just want you to tell us a little bit of the moment in which you take these pictures. Do you remember?
Yes, it's in Lokfu. I think it's like upper, like some new territories.
Mhm.
I think it's around Lokfu is in new territories, right?
Yes.
But which is a red line.
I think.
I think it's
Or like Kwai Ching, or so like around that area. More like
Yes.
industrial, I would say.
please
Yes.
don't quiz us too much on the
Oh,
geography.
yeah. Sorry. Well, I was strolling around. So it was one of these nights when I was just like trying to, walk around and find some cool places. Oh, the reason why I was there. So I wanted to find a building with round, like circle-ish windows.
Mm-hmm.
And in Hong Kong, there are quite a few. Obviously, no one gonna let me in Jardin's house, right, and do stuff. But Hong Kong has a few in that area, and wanted to find and see if I can get into it, because I wanted to take this kind of like really dreamy, like sort of like neon light feeling of a model, like on one of these windows, right? So I was walking around, and this sunset was so beautiful. Like the colors, you could see, like it was so gentle, and I was just like, wow, like and yeah, looked up, and that's how I took that picture.
How much post-production was a protagonist on this final picture?
Not much.
It was like this. This guy was like this.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
fantastic.
There are a few. I mean, I think I posted another one. There are like 2 or 3
Mhm.
on that post. There's one with on the bridge as well. The person is walking, and also the sky you could see is the same color.
No, that's amazing. Well, these ones. I mean, I like architecture. I like brutalism.
Me too.
Still, and modernism, brutalism, everything that happened before postmodernism is good. And I love this picture too. Just you being able to get this perspective. How did you get this? How did you get this precise angle? Where is this from? Where is
Do-
this taken from? I mean?
Do you recognize? You don't recognize the place. It's TST actually.
It's TST, yeah, that I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but I don't know from where did you took that one. I was very curious.
So I was working on that day. Actually, it was with the kids, and we were going to the Space Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were waiting, I was like standing and I looked and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And I took a picture. But actually, there is a part of that picture that I edited out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little part the tree is covering. So I just edited out the tree so it looks more minimal. But yeah, I just looked and it looks like the light and overall geometry of the building, like it created such an interesting composition. So I was like, okay, I need to take a picture of that.
Yes, no, absolutely. When I saw this picture, I realized that this is Hong Kong in February. This is beautiful. I felt this picture for a very long time. I just wanted to tell you this. And this one, I guess, is in new territories as well.
Yeah.
This gives a lot of sense of contrast, which is what people don't expect from Hong Kong. people expect from Hong Kong sometimes
Urban.
urban, and they don't realize we have such amazing outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you go outdoors in Lama? Do you roam around? In which part do you live? So we are going to find out if you really have a following, because they're going to stalk you in your home. More or less, where do you live?
Very close to the pier, actually. You know, Candela, the Spanish restaurant.
Yes.
So like a minute away from Candela.
Uh-huh. I see.
There is something very like romanticism in this picture. It's like the man with nature around, lost in his thoughts. It reminds the work that was done in the 19th century by the German painters. It's very nice.
Thank you. It was such a beautiful day. That day was really gorgeous. I also destroyed my shoes. They were new shoes, white, and I was like, yeah, let me just wear them.
No, it's and this actually you took this with a drone, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is something that Filippo was actually obsessed about when he was looking at your pictures, which is the protagonism of technology, not only as a medium to take pictures, but as a protagonist on the pictures.
I think there are two aspects of technology. You use technology in your work for production, also advanced technology like generative AI. At least I heard it on one of the podcasts. And the other aspect is that there are also as object in your picture, as subject, there are the people integrate technology
Mm-hmm.
like cyborgs. They have visors, they have technology attached to them. If you can develop a little bit on that, if you can tell us a little bit more about that.
I'm just a very techie guy. Like, I love technology. I've been always into, like, I love video games, and like anything kind of like new, it always gets my attention. I don't know if you know, by the way, but ChatGPT has a new function, and it's not available. Obviously, it's not available in Hong Kong, but the app on the phone, and now you can talk to it, and it's gonna talk to you back. But like actually the voice, and the voice sounds so human, and you can ask this chat to perform in any way. You can say, okay, I want you to be like to act like you are like Winston Churchill, and you tell me about your story when I ask you questions, and it's gonna do that. Or you can ask it to be your interviewer, and it's going to be your interviewer, and then you can ask it to evaluate you, like how was your response. And I was like, wow, this is insane.
Does it threaten? Do you like it? Or are you inspired, or do you feel threatened by it?
I think it's fascinating. Like in the way, like in one of my productions that I did about metaverse, I actually created a story where the guy is trying to be free, like from the metaverse.
I think that we have these are the images, correct?
Yeah, so like the story was about him trying to get away from this world that he was stuck in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think nowadays, I mean, we're all stuck in our phones, right? And then Mark Zuckerberg was like, well, we're gonna give you even more, like, and while I think it's also fascinating that this kind of stuff is going to be available, right? But also there's a downside that I think, like, well, we're just going to be more disconnected from the real world, which is not a positive thing. So I just wanted to turn it into something like, to remind people, like, there's a real world and we should appreciate that. That was the idea.
No, this is fantastic. So you used, what's the device that you put on the model's head? How did you create this picture without telling too many secrets? But how did you come up with this construction, with this concept?
I found this VR helmet. So I found it online through Carousel. So I was looking for something that I can put light in front, because these kind of VR helmets for phones, you put your phone in front and then you can like use it, right? And I have these RGB lights, so like they're very thin. So instead of putting a phone, I would just put RGB lights, so it looks like it creates this kind of like effect, like it's on.
And then he finally takes the headset off, and he's free. Where is this place? This is a magical place.
Yeah, it's in OLINCHUK. I was looking for it for a while, actually, and I was messaging. So I saw some photographers did work there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged them like, wow, that's amazing. Could you please tell me where's the place? Obviously, no one would tell me where's the place. People would keep it a secret. and I understand why. And then this girl that I accidentally found, I think it was on Facebook or somewhere, she she would just go to these kind of places just for fun. So I asked her, right, and she generously told me the location and how did she get there. So I went there, and it was one of the most terrifying experiences, but also like really amazing in the way, because it was Friday. I didn't have to go to work, and there's not a single soul. And this place, like, you go the underground, and it's massive. It's a massive place. It's also like very dirty. And then there's this part where that I found, I wanted to find especially that location where at the beginning he stands like, looking up, and there's this light, right? No, not this one, like the first one. I think. Yeah. I wanted to find this specifically, this place especially, because I thought it looks so cool. And to get there, you have to go through the tunnel.
Uh-huh.
And that tunnel, like, if it's just complete darkness, and it's a huge tunnel, right? And I'm like, okay, where am I? What am I doing here? And I'm with this flashlight, and I'm walking there. I'm like, okay, and every sound you hear, it's like it's echoing. Like everything sounds maybe far away, just gonna go through the tunnel. So it was really creepy. But when I found this, I was like, okay, I know how to get here. I gotta do something here, right? And when I saw this place, for some reason, I just saw an image of a guy like in a VR helmet for some reason. And then I developed a story around that. But I waited for like a year to do that because during certain time of the year, this place is underwater because there's like a drainage system. And I came back and I was like, oh, it's underwater. And then my friend told me, yeah, like you need to wait. And after Metaverse was announced, right? And I was like, wait, I thought about the guy wearing VR helmet. Maybe I can make something about it. So then that's how creative process led me to create the whole story about it.
Can you expand on that? Like your creative process. You have an idea. Do you sketch it out? How do you put all the elements together? Do you just go there and get inspired?
Well, I like to I like to look for unique locations. Like I love exploring as a thing. Location like means a lot, especially like in Hong Kong. It's so rich, and you don't want to do the same locations as everyone else, right? You want to find something really unique, and it depends. Sometimes creative process starts from me going somewhere and maybe like feeling the place, right? Maybe seeing an image in my mind and then creating something around it. And sometimes maybe I kind of like have this story in my mind and it's not even a complete, like I don't understand why I'm doing it even, like, I just want to do it. I just want to shoot it in this way. And then after I shoot it, I actually write what I think about it. It can also be this way. But this one specifically was just, I saw an image and then almost a year after, right, the metaverse, and I was really thinking about it and then decided to make a story about it. And speaking about sketching, by the way, if it's like this kind of photo shoot, I would sometimes make like a little sketch of how I would see the frame, just like so I have like notes. My sketches are super ugly, by the way. and then like if I go there, at least I know what picture to make. A lot of pictures could be also improvised, but some of them like I know around approximately what I want to get, so I would do like a little sketch.
I see. No, take it off. Yes. No, I want to because I want to unveil. I want before getting to that picture. I want to ask you, because you use a lot of technology. How do you keep all of your pictures? Do you still print some of them, or you keep them digital most of the time?
I have some of them printed.
Which takes me to my next question. Would you be so kind of allowing me to print this picture that we have here? Because I love it so much.
I actually have a huge print of this photo.
How big?
I don't know. It's like this big. I feel like I should have actually a picture on my phone where I'm next to it. I think it's like if you put it, it's like it's reaching the table. It's this big.
Very nice.
Like, it's
like
huge.
an A2 or something like this.
Yeah.
No, because when I saw it, I'm like, I love the composition. I love the colors. I love the fact that I think I know what it is. Is it Checo?
Around. It's Cape d'Aguilar.
Okay, yes. I don't know. Overall, it gives me it just talks to me in a way I cannot even transcript into a language, into a codified language. This was the last big work that you shared with me, and that I've seen online. I think probably this is the one that got me to you. Um, what what does it represent? Why did you choose to make this series of pictures?
So it started with Alex Herrera, who is a friend of mine. So he gave me this idea, right? He said, "Do you want to do something, creative?" So he told me that he wants to do like a photo shoot about people's bodies, basically about interaction of people, like a very intimate interaction. But it's nothing sexual or anything. But even if someone interprets it in that way, perfectly fine. It's more like just like showing an intimacy and connection, tactile connection between people, right? And it was during the COVID times where people tried to stay away from that, right? That's what the government told us to do. And he was like, okay, I have models, I have a space, he ordered a studio, so he's like, let's do it, I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we did the first one, and it was my first time shooting 5 naked people in the studio, and it was amazing experience. It was so fun. Everyone was super engaged, and we were just playing, like, let's do this, let's plan this, like. And then I decided to do the second one, but so this one was much more complicated because I invited 10 models, and it's all the logistics, like organizing everything. And then I went to the place, to Cape d'Aguilar myself, just to feel the space and try to think where I would like to place the models, what I would like them to do. So some of the things I would sketch. I actually can show you. I think I have it here.
If you have it, yeah, sure, of course. No. This is the beauty of the podcast live. It's not live, but it's like if it was live.
So I always carry my notebook with me if I need to write stuff or sketch stuff. Let me see. I think it should be here, the first one. Yeah. So
can you show it to that camera?
Yeah.
There you go.
So these are my beautiful sketches. It's like one of the pictures that you will see, with all of them standing together. I think it's between. Oh yeah. So this is the fabric, the one that you see, the red one, and these are the people, and these are the 2 rocks behind that you saw. So this is how the picture looks, and the one with the drone with the line, it's also here. This is how I sketched this. A lot of things were also kind of improvised, but some of the images that you see here, they ended up looking that way. Oh, sorry, was I too far from the microphone when I was talking?
The thing is this: the imperfection is actually part of the beauty of the process. This is just to say that I don't care if the volume came down. The authenticity of the moment actually gives value to the podcast. We don't want to make a perfect podcast. There was this group in Spain that they would always try to play in every concert a song they composed the night before, in order to fuck up all the production schedule. And it was actually normally a very improvable song, but it was nice. So thank you for showing it. I just want to go on with the series of pictures because the viewers might think that it was only one, but it's a collection of them, actually in 2 different settings, or at least with 2 different outfits. Because in some of them the models have black underwear, which gives a lot of contrast, and then you have another.
This was the first one. So
this was the first one.
These are 3 of them. This is the third one. That's the last one.
I see. Okay,
That's
so you have the studio.
Yeah.
Now I understand. Then you have the second.
This is the third. That's the third. So the one in Cape d'Aguilar is what the rocks are, and this one is the third one.
Fantastic. No. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So you didn't say if I could. Can I print this picture and put it on my wall?
Sure.
Thank you very much. I will promote you until I die. Good. We've been seeing some of your passion work, but you also have to do commercial work. How do you balance those things out? What is the business model of an upcoming photographer? What do you need to do in order to make the things that you like? I'm
learning how to do that. So now I I'm getting commercial projects more than before this year, which I'm very happy about, because initially I want to stay away, not stay away, just like be done with teaching work and just focus on my passion, right? So make it my living, let's say. So I'm working towards that goal. And yeah, commercial projects are not that exciting usually. I did have a few clients' works that were great. They completely trusted me, and we did some great pictures. I love when clients, go to me and ask me for what I do, because they love my style, right? But yeah, commercial work brings, of course, more money. But I would like to get more creative commercial projects, I think in Hong Kong, you can do that, but I'm still finding ways to find this kind of clients. As far as I see, from photographers from Ukraine, for example, right? I think in Ukraine, the value of this type of creative, artistic photography is more appreciated than it is in Hong Kong. Here, people want more commercial stuff, I would say. Corporate, yeah. Something more Instagrammable, I would say, but in the old way, now Instagram changed so much. I think you can get so creative with what you want to post, right? It doesn't have to be the regular, just nice looking pictures, right? You can add spice to it, make a story, be a character, you're gonna live that moment, and this what creates the beauty. And I think people here don't really get this kind of stuff.
What's in your mind right now? Where are you going? What are going to be the next project? Is there something that you want to create? Something that you look forward? Is there an idea growing in your mind?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but I've been thinking a lot about death, in a good way, and about the relationship with death, and how it makes you live more, actually. And yeah, I want to talk about it too much, spoil what I want to do. But overall, what I think about it is, it just puts you in perspective that you're not here forever, and many people forget that. They think, oh, I have time, I can still do so many things, I can do this and that. It's okay, we can still we have time to do that. And we actually have not much time. We don't even know how much time we have, and people just take things for granted. So I want to kind of create something very different from what I do, and it's going to be about relationship with death.
Doesn't it make you anxious, knowing that you need to live life at full speed? That you might be wasting time?
No, I actually think that it makes me anxious where you think about how you would like to live life, but you don't. It's it's in this kind of paralyzed state. That makes me feel more anxious. But when I do more things, that actually makes me feel I want to do more, So
I think that can be a very important work with a very important message. Where would you want to? How would you love to show it? Have you thought about going to a art gallery, and presenting the work there?
I would love that. Yeah. That would be a really great way to do it.
Have you tried to do some business development on that sense, or is it something that you haven't explored yet?
I actually went to explore some of the galleries. There's a bunch of them around Shengwan here,
Yeah.
right? And I did find one gallery, but I haven't contacted them yet. So I've been slow on it. That's what I want to say. So I need to create a kind of a PDF with work and present it to them. I wanted to do actually the series with the body of work.
Yes.
But maybe not. Maybe I'm just gonna do about the death. I'll see.
How much do you think doing business development for your creative work it's necessary? Do you think if you would invest more time in it, you would get farther down, or you're not in a hurry?
I think if I would invest more time, let's say, I think it's also about figuring out how to shorten the time that you spent on creating things, on doing things. So sometimes, you know, maybe you're developing a video, right? Maybe it's going to take you a week or 2 weeks, right? But then it's good to try to figure out how to make this process shorter, or the time you spend on a project, and make it more efficient, so then you can create more, and then you kind of like have things ready for you to use, right? So I'm figuring this out, how to do it. It's a process. I'm happy to learn it.
No, it's fantastic. Look, Roman, I'm a great fan of your philosophy. I think I like you more because you are not a super success all of a sudden. I think going slow but steady will get you far. And I just wish that you keep doing what you're doing. I wish you all of the best of luck. And I started a tradition the other day, and I think it's quite fair, which is this. I don't know how to talk today. I need to go to your English classes. Because this was your show, I want to give you the last word and tell whoever is listening, to the million of viewers of the last meeting of the week, what you're up to, what your dreams, and what they should be expecting from you.
I'm up to no good. Well, I am on my way to explore, and I don't want to tie myself now into anything particular. But I feel like I'm in this state where I just like want to do things differently in a different way, and sometimes spontaneous, sometimes very planned. But yeah, I want to do stuff that is more inspiring, because I think it's not enough inspirational content online. Now everything is filled with like, a 1 minute, like how to create this effect, how to do this stuff, right? And they quickly show it to you. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then it just, goes through your head. And maybe you will do it, maybe you will not. But I want to do stuff that really, make people think, feel, relate, and be inspired. That's what my aim is.
Please never put trendy audios on your videos.
I hate trendy audios.
Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Filippo, number one. And for everyone else, either from the listeners or the viewers, thank you for staying with us. Remember that it's Friday, weekend is about to start, so you better go to winenot.com.hk with the code LASTMEET upon checkout for a 5% discount. I'm very happy. My weekend is beginning. Thank you, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. That was fun.